Alright, YouTube. Today I want to talk a little bit about the European Jews. Um, this is a subject that probably is all ever talked about. Um, the one thing that should be noted is that the European Jews should be distinguished from the African Jews, because not necessarily because of the color, because of I don't want to necessarily say lineage, but there is a great difference. Now, most European Jews and their particular area are European. That means that they came from Europe. They're mainly Russians. I think it's try to pinpoint it's near Ukrainian in that area around there. But Europe is, I wouldn't necessarily say it's not a particular country. It's more like an area, in the sense that most European countries was not necessarily a country per se, but more of an area that was ruled by say a duke, a person that controlled a particular area like a kingdom. Now, some of these particular areas are very small. There was probably no more probably big as New York City area or something like that. Real small, probably smaller than that, and like a little country town or something. But people actually considered them countries because they had a relationship with other dukes. So I know, because some of the little smaller countries, they even tried to colonize America, parts of America, like the Dutch and a couple of more small countries that actually came over and tried to colonize. But getting back to the European Jews, I kind of laid out a little bit of information about the structure of Europe and relationships to the dukes and how they kind of rule. But so the European Jews was mainly, they came from Russia, I think near the Ukrainian area. So the story goes that the Duke, whoever had his little kingdom, decided to say, hey, called his subjects together and say, hey, what do you guys think about religion? And they say, well, we don't know. Well, how about this? How about if we choose between Judaism, Catholicism, whatever type of other religion there, I guess he throwed out there to them. Say, well, what do you guys think? Which one should I choose? And I think they actually choose Judaism, according to the story. Okay, so having laid out that little story about how Judaism actually came about in Europe, the Jewish people also in this particular area in Europe, mainly Russian, was noted for, I guess, being mercenaries. So they was like some real tough mercenaries. They were like top of the line mercenaries. And so when a duke or someone in Europe needed some bodyguards or some beef, you know, so they go to Europe and say, hey, these guys over here, this area here, hey, these some bad son of a gun. Say, well, we should, if you need anyone, these are the guys to go to and get them. So the Jews was noted as, you know, being good mercenaries. You know, they take care of business, whatever need to be done. So having laid that out, as far as the Jews and their relationships to business and stuff like that, it was very evident that they made a little cash being mercenaries. So exactly what they did with their money, it's not really clear to me, but the Jews did make some money, you know, being mercenaries. So as far as them investing in a little business, they probably did. You know, lending it out to some of the friends or associates, they probably did. You know, because they had some money. You know, when people had money, you know, you have friends that come around and say, hey, why don't you help me out here? So laying that out there, as far as how the Jews kind of got some, you know, the wealth, you would have to fast forward to now, or into Europe a couple of hundred years ago, and say, well, the Jews, they were good business people. Well, the Jews, well, they were mercenaries, they made a little money. They probably invested it. I think that Judaism, it kind of keep people together. It's a commonality, you know, this say, well, we part of this and we part of that, you know. It's kind of like a brotherhood almost. And with that doesn't necessarily mean that, although Europe was mainly a slave plantation, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Jews had it any better than anyone else. I think what actually happened was the Jewish people, they took advantage of the opportunities that they did have, and they kind of invested their money. And Judaism, it kind of kept them together. Some of their people, it kept them together. With other people, Christianity per se, but as far as Christianity goes, or Catholicism, a lot of, say, the Irish people, look how many years that they was enslaved too. But I don't think that the Irish people had that many say opportunities to really like the Jewish people. They was mainly used as mercenaries by the dukes. So the Irish people now probably they have a lot of opportunities now, but say a couple hundred years ago they didn't. But as time go on, I think the people will realize that they eventually would have to work together in order to probably achieve anything in this society.